Hello guys, my name is Antonio Bellamy and I'm going to share with you my takeaways and action plan from the Educational Policy and Social Justice course. Two life-changing takeaways. I'm going to start with this one. Whether big or small, we all play a role in educational processes. So I did have a limited understanding of the change that I could invoke in widespread education or general education, being a part of committees, finding a way to have my voice heard and taking ownership of that responsibility. So that's a major takeaway, and I did learn a lot about the process of decision making regarding education in my district, in my state, and even nationally. The second takeaway is that blind spots cause injustices in the educational system, not the unwillingness to change. So policymakers, they have a daunting task. Even decision makers within an institution like your VPs, and or if it's high school, your assistant principals and the principal. If it's college, the VPs, department heads, and the president, of course. So blind spots cause injustices sometimes, not the unwillingness to change. We have to change our thinking as far as sometimes as educators, being the front runners and those who are on the front line, we kind of punch down on the decision makers, saying that they don't care. So it's not all the time that they don't care, but rather we need to help shed light on certain issues. So when we shed light on those certain issues, then we can invoke change. Reminds me of a story of Emmett Till. In the 1950s, his mom chose to have an open casket so that nationally it could be seen what was happening in America. And then, in the 1960s, you had the Civil Rights Act, and that played a major role in the Civil Rights Act. The action plan to solving these type inequalities within the classroom. First, we have to speak. We have to speak on these issues. As educators, if we're on the front line, we're in there with the students, we have to speak on these issues. Second, of course, the policy makers, the decision makers have to listen to these issues. And also, they need to be a little bit more on the front lines with us as far as establishing relationships with some of the students. I know that they cannot establish relationships with all the students, but the more they know about the students, the more they could properly address the needs of the students. And then once we have spoke, and once they've listened, then we all need to act together. So don't just voice an issue or speak on an issue, but after you've spoke on an issue, come with what you think would be a resolution for that issue, and then be a part of the action plan. Don't just state all your issues, put your problems in this box, and just keep walking. But when it's time to make decisions, or at our school we have a shared decision meeting. So I hear a lot of teachers complain about what goes on within the walls of the institution, but they're not at any of the shared decision meetings. So if you're not at any of the shared decision meetings, then you're speaking, but after they listen, you're not a part of the third step, which is acting together. And I think that this would be a great action plan for any institution and the entire educational system. Thank you guys for listening.